Morning, Jenny. Morning, Paul.
Those only go out Tuesday and Friday. Hey, there's Damien. Good to see you, Damien.
Good to see you, Paul.
Jenny and I have just started talking. My main message today is what PDA does to issue legislative action alerts on progressive legislation that's before the committees in the legislature. So I don't know if you get those, Damien. You might, but you probably don't. And because we don't put anybody on our list until we get permission. But if you, Damien, or Jenny, if you personally would like to get those action alerts, why, we'd be happy to send them to you. Okay. The action alerts, Damien, I told this to Jenny, but I put my name in the chat, and this time it took. It hasn't taken in the previous sessions. Anyway, if you'd like, I'd like you to get on our list. If you
so I just sent you my email on the chat as well, Paul.
Okay. So can you just send me a quick message whenever it's convenient for you, saying, yeah, add me to the PDA legislative action alert?
Yeah, let me give me just a second.
And I recognize Chad Clifton here. Hey, how you doing?
Well, thank you.
So we've started already, and because people come in when they are able to, and there's
I'm so sorry. What's the best contact information to send it to you?
It's in the chat, but it is Stokes Corrales at mac.com.
Mac.com. Okay.
And Stokes Corrales is just all run together and spelled like you'd guess. Okay.
Okay, so, perfect.
So what our action alerts are aimed at is letting, as soon as bills are that we're interested in are scheduled for hearing in committees, we send all the committee members. We ask people to send committee members just a line or two saying we support this and here's why, or we oppose it and here's why. So that's how our action alerts work. And we have a team that chooses generally in every session about 60 bills that we end up following that are progressive in nature. So that's kind of how it works. And Clifton, and you signed in a little bit late, so I may have missed something important to start it off, but if you kind of get that.
I'm good. Yeah, I appreciate it, Paul. Thank you.
Are you on our list already? Do you get our action alerts? We've had them several years in the past.
I've been getting PDA emails. Yes. I think that was one of the emails that alerted me to this whole event.
Okay, great. Well, if you're on our we have a special list for legislative action alerts. There's about 250 people on it. And, if you would like to get on that, just send me a quick email and we'll put you on. I'd like to have you on.
Thank
you. The action alerts, I don't know if we have time to go, probably, I don't want to take your time to go into detail, but the action alerts essentially include a tool that recipients can easily use to just click a button and get their legislator up and or get legislators on the committees hearing the bill. And there's just a tool to make that easy for them. So that's how we operate. So that's very quick, and I can go into any more detail. Oh, for either of you, you may not have heard my opening statement. We cover bills in 4 general areas: climate change and renewable energy, healthcare, social and economic justice, and voting rights. And we just got some great news on voting rights with the governors and the Secretary of State's initiative to have a bunch of really good bills, if they're all separate bills, or maybe one I don't know what it's going to be. It could possibly be one omnibus bill.
I have some info on that. I was having a voting rights session in this event, but nobody showed up because all of these mini sessions are at the same time as the legislative town hall. So
It's very awkward to deal with that. And,
Yeah.
and I know people want to get back to it. I'd like to hear it. I've only heard a smattering of the main message, and I was pleased to hear what I heard, but we don't have many of those. So
yeah.
Several of you have come on late. Is there any more that I could tell you about our legislative action alerts that maybe you didn't, maybe was talked about before you got on? So Carl, you're muted. Lila, you're muted.
I'm fine, thanks.
So if there's anything I can tell you about our action alerts that would help you understand whether you'd like to receive them or not, go for it. Now, if the chat is working on this session, it hasn't worked in the past, but if it's working in this session, my contact information is right at the top of the chat. So you can.
Paul, I didn't see your contact information there, but I think I'm going to put it in right now.
See if it's right at the top, or maybe it's not anymore.
And I want to ask you, is this the, one of my one of my many little pet peeves is how we're not allowed to get paid for energy that we might generate on our own property. I guess, as I understand it, we get credits. And I think that obviously retards development of rooftop and community solar when, your investment goes to enrich PNM some more, or whoever the carrier is. And so I'm hoping that there may be some action to, act in favor of the individuals, so that, I mean, goodness sakes, if I thought I could make money off of my rooftop solar, I'd throw some money. So, you know what I mean? I'd invest some of my retirement income in that.
Cliff, that's an excellent point. I have a solar array, and I have the same thing. I got all these credits built up at PNM, and I don't know how to ever use them.
Right? Can you leave them to your children?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
So there was that was an amendment that was done, I think, like 7 or 8 years ago. People that were grandfathered in that had solar panels prior to that, and don't quote me on the time frame, they actually were being paid for the generation of,
I remember that.
electricity. So that was a late legislative change. With the community solar, I really thought that it would go back to a sort of decentralized rooftop where PNM would be able to pay back. But again, those are that's a slightly different model, where it's selling that electricity to the community rather than the community producing and back to it. So I think, that's something that we can definitely take a look at, because all of the mandates do require PNM and everybody else to go towards renewable clean energy. But if they're added to the grid, we can get into a position where we're actually storing and transferring that electricity outside of New Mexico and be able to sell it. So I think there is a model for that there. It's going to take some a little bit of working out the logistics of it, but it's something we should start talking about, how people here in New Mexico can put rooftop on their homes and sell that electricity out of state.
So one of the other reasons that I bring it up, Paul knows I'm involved with some of the efforts of AFLEP that they're trying to push to get a public bank established, where the bank would be capitalized with one fund and then have a separate fund for lending. And if community solar and rooftop solar, and if people were able to generate income, then that would be the capital that could be used to borrow money to create those projects, because there'd be a good indicator that the project would be profitable and those loans would be able to be paid back. I could see this working for, all up and down the river for the Pueblos who might be interested in establishing an array that can power their own communities as well as be sold into the markets outside, become a revenue source for them. So anyway,
Excellent point. Excellent point. Who is working? Who do you think is a good legislator to be working in that area to get them going on something like this?
I hope you're not asking me. I'm not familiar enough with it, different perspectives.
Damian might know.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple that would be very receptive. I know that Senator Lopez has really dived into the environmental justice stuff for the bank. Representative Javier Martinez would be a good point of contact. He has been pushing for a funding of that type of a state bank and investment and pulling some of our other permanent funds into those things. So I think those two, Javier Martinez in the House and Senator Antoinette Cedillo Lopez in the Senate, would be two good people to continue moving forward on those two issues.
That sounds great. Laura, did you get those? Did you take notes on that? Who those people are?
Liz Stefanik is coming to the PRC. I take the minutes for the PRC. She's coming to the meeting on Wednesday to address community solar.
Well, that'd be a good place to talk about it. So,
Damien, you said Javier and Antoinette and Linda Lopez.
Yes, Linda Lopez would be another good one here in the Albuquerque. So Linda Lopez, Antoinette Cedillo,
yeah,
and Javier Martinez.
and Javier Martinez. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great, thank you.
And Liz, and as Carl said, Liz is also a great.
Liz Thompson.
Liz Stefanix.
Oh, Liz Stefanik, right,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah,
yeah.
thanks.
Okay, well, so to be clear, at the moment, the way our legislative action alerts work is we alert them to bills that have been introduced. So these, a bill on this hasn't been introduced yet, but when it is, it probably won't. I don't know what's your take on this, but it probably won't work in the short session, right? Have to wait till 23.
I have to say that the way AFLEP is describing itself, local economic prosperity, once we get the public bank up, then we can shift and put our thing into put our efforts into creating local economic prosperity right on your roof.
Right.
So, I'm going to bring that up at another meeting.
Yeah, do that. That sounds great. So, Carl, you chimed in late, and I don't know if you know what we at PDA do or what we're talking about when we talk about action alerts, but I'd be happy to review that in a nutshell again if you'd like.
I'm going to jump off to the meeting town hall, but I'll shoot you an email, Paul. Great to see you as well, Laura.
Thanks, Damon.
Thank you.
Paul, I sent you an email, and I'm going to go to the other meeting as well.
Thanks, Cliff. I don't blame you.